And then also you have the adhab. And adhab is a direct result also of those who transgress. And then indhar, which is very important, because just as you have tabshir, you have indhar. So just if you have glad tidings, you have a warning. And the prophets are unique in that they have tabshir and indhar. In other words, they warn and they give good news. And you will always see in the Quran, whenever there is a verse that deals with punishment, it will always be followed by a verse that deals with mercy. You will never see verses in the Quran separate like that. You will always see that there is a promise. So this is called wa'ad and wa'id. You have the promise of, if you do right, then you get the promise of the righteous, which is that Allah accepts you and blesses you. And if you do wrong, then you have this indhar, this warning that there is retribution, there's requital. And then the human response to all of these, because this is all happening out there. I mean, this is the world. There's wonderful things happening and there's terrible things happening. And so the human response to these events in the world is one of two. There's only two possibilities. It's either tasdeeq or takdeeb. Either you believe these signs or you deny them. So those who deny will turn signs into arbitrary, meaningless events, which is what nihilism does. We reduce events to chance and accident, that we don't live in a moral universe, that our actions do not have repercussions in the world. And if they do, those repercussions are arbitrary repercussions. They're not repercussions that have any significance in a cause and effect type of relationship with any moral component there, but rather cause and effect as a certain aggregate of variables that come together and then something happens from that. So crime can pay. Maybe it doesn't always pay, but it can pay. And if it's organized, it usually pays very well. So that's the kind of attitude that they have, the people that deny these signs. The people that accept the signs are people that believe that the universe is meaningful, that we're living in a world where everything that happens has both existential import. So me as an individual, my life is meaningful. The events that happen in my life are meaningful. They are not arbitrary events. And then we see this as a collective group. In other words, groups as collective groups of people have courses, and the courses that they take will determine outcomes as a collective group. And this is where you get into the idea of clans, of cities, and of countries or states. That an actual country can bring upon the wrath of God. And because they bring this upon them, they're taken to account as an aggregate, not as individuals. And that's why the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that when the punishment of God comes, it afflicts the good and bad. It afflicts everybody. And the Quran says, "Attaqu fitnatan la tusibanna alladhina zalamu minkum khassa." You should fear and guard yourselves from calamities that do not just afflict the oppressors among you. And the reason for that verse is that if only the oppressors were ever harmed by wrong in the world, then no one would have any cause to stop wrong in the world. They would simply just wait till the oppressor got what was coming to him. Whereas once you begin to understand that wrong in the world affects everybody, and therefore the kind of modern concept, well, as long as I don't hurt anybody, this is the idea. As long as I don't hurt anybody, then it's all right. But from the Islamic cosmology, that any wrong that is done openly and in public that is not rejected by the society will actually affect the society, even if it's not harming anybody per se.